In the Torah portion of Bahar, there's something very odd. We're told that, right, something that hasn't happened before on earth. God commands us for 6 years, you're going to get the land, you plow, you reap, you sow, you do what you got to do. And on the 7th year, are you waiting? Are you sitting down? Nothing. Your fields are open, anyone wants to come and go, take it. And this really is a perplexing commandment, right? Sabbath, it's 24 hours. We're talking about a year where you can't touch your land. So Rabbi Raphael Birdugo, the angel Raphael, wants to explain this. He has a beautiful explanation in the Torah portion of Bahar. He starts off by saying that, he quotes the sages who say that, God says you're going to plow for, you're going to work the fields for 6 years. On the 7th, it's a Shemitah, it's a sabbatical. And through this you'll know that the land is mine. And Rabbi Raphael wants to explain how are we going to know through this that the land is his. Moreover, he's going to explain to us how it can also affect our being, being a mensch. And he starts off by saying there are two ways of looking what the sages are talking about. By God saying 6 years, then on the 7th, and through this you'll know that I gave you the land. He says the first, it's like a king. A king gives his soldiers or people land, and says you can work this land, you can't work this land. By the mere commandment, we understand that the land is God's, the land is not ours, right? We're told you're going to come into the land, and then. But moreover, why is it on the 7th year and not the 6th year, the 5th year, the 4th year? Why specifically the 7th? Because this reminds us of the 6 days in which God created the world, and on the 7th he rested. So it reminds us that God who created the world is his. All the more so when he gives us the land, it's God's land. It reminds us that it's his. But it gets even better. Rabbi Raphael says, what happens in the 7th year? Remember, it's on the Shabbos. It's not 24 hours, it's a whole year. Imagine the magnitude. A year, you have a field, you see people coming and going, taking and eating. At first it can eat you up inside, but then you realize it's God's. It wasn't mine in the first place. And what does this do to us? It makes us want to be like God, to be compassionate like God. This is the purpose. Not only to understand that it's God's, but for us then, the ripple effect is just like God is compassionate and shows us, I created the world for you, and through sabbatical you know that everything is mine. Sabbatical is meant to also help you understand you should give more. You have, give to others. And this is also, get this, it's beautiful, this is why after the sabbatical, Shemitah, we are taught about the laws of negotiation. Because Shemitah is meant to teach us, right, when we come to negotiate, we want a better deal for us. But through Shemitah, we're meant to learn, wait a second, don't try and cheat someone else. Nothing is yours, it's all God's. And remember that what you're going to get, your reward is in the world to come. So be a mensch and do what you need to do. Thoughts on the Torah portion of Bahar B'chukotai, but we focused on Bahar and a lovely interpretation to Shemitah, what it's for. Shabbat Shalom.